guys, what's going on? It's Eli back with another review video, and for this one, gonna be reviewing actually because another Disney animated film, from Disney Toon Studios. If you guys remember, a while back I reviewed the Tigger movie, and now for this one, and you read the title, I am reviewing The Lion King 1.5. That's right, Lion King 1.5. I think this probably have to be my number 2 favorite Disney Toon Studio animated film next, and number 1 being the Tigger movie, actually. So, and it's a good thing, too, because I reviewed the Tigger movie first, and now I'm reviewing Lion King 1.5, so, good. But anyway, so Lion King 1.5, it is pretty good. I enjoy it. That, and of course, the Lion King itself. Lion King 2, Simba's Pride, not so much. I do like it. It's not too bad, but I'll explain more of it when I get to review it. So But anyway, so Lion King 1.5. It is good because, of course, Timon and Pumbaa, they're the stars of the film. They get their own movie, and because they're the best. And what's really funny, and this turned into a meme, as we all know. Timon and Pumbaa pausing the film, and they're like in their own theater room or something like that, those segments, pretty funny. And even with some of the characters and the songs, they're good, and one of the first songs, Digatana, Digatana, that's good. And some of the characters from Ma, Timon's mother, that is, she's pretty good, and voiced by, I forget her name already, but the voice of Marge Simpson, basically. It's cool that she's also voicing another character besides Marge Simpson. And also Uncle Max, voiced by the great late Jerry Stiller, Ben Stiller's father, that is. He's pretty funny, too. There's no sign of Timon anywhere, I could do a pretty decent impression, that would be Timon. Of course, the return of Nathan Lane, sorry, I said Nathan Fillion. Nathan Lane as Timon, voicing Timon, of course. Definitely he is the voice of Timon. And, he's, just clumsy and, causing trouble or whatever. Well, just, he destroyed part of the tunnels, everything else, and yet later, Timon's been put on, say, watching out for hyenas, etc. Scurry, sniff, flinch. And then a good song, too, of which I think, it is titled Scurry, Sniff, Flinch, and with Timon, I'm gonna put digging tunnels behind me, blah, 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 blah. That's a good song, too. Even at the end credits, we get a full version of it, the ending of the song, which is pretty good, too. And so, the hyenas come in, which, of course, none other than Shenzi, Bonsai Ned. Also, because, even another part with the Timon and Pumbaa pausing the film, Pumbaa said on the remote, and it changed to another channel, that channel where, fashion and bags, it's funny. Hey, I'm just thinking about that scene. And so, Timon, he decides to leave and finds a place or something, dream home or whatever for him and the rest and his family, the family of meerkats. And, of course, he comes across Rafiki and, look beyond what you see. And then he comes across who would be his best friend, Pumbaa. Of course, oh, crap, I forget his name already, but, if it does pop in my head, then, Ernie Sabel, that's right, Ernie Sabel, the voice of Pumbaa, that is. And they make their way because of the opening of The Lion King, because the beginning of Lion King 1.5, it literally starts the day before the Lion King movie starts, basically, and before the birth of Simba, a day before Simba was born, basically. And so, they make their way to Pride Rock in that opening, because of the Circle of Life and Rafiki holding baby Simba. And they find a little place, a little cave, and with tiny and small lake or river and such, That doesn't work out until, because of, oh, I just can't wait to be king. Like, wait a second. Like, did they jump ahead or something? Just, I don't know. How long have Timon and Pumbaa been there, anyways? Oh, well, but it's never been established. I don't know. But, and of course, they make their way to where the Elfin Graveyard is, and, that's where Mufasa and Zazu come in, because the hyena is almost about to attack Simba and Nala, and then they make their way into the cave or whatever, because of the boiling fires and such, where Be Prepared happens, and the hyenas come in. And, like, Timon, I remember, something tells me this ain't the, traveling river dance or something. And then, like they skip and dance off, And then, of course, they come to the canyon or whatever it is, and where that scene, the infamous scene of the wildebeest come in. Yeah, it's like, did the wildebeest make their way to where Timon and Pumbaa was after, say, what happened to Mufasa? I'm pretty sure, I guess, because maybe we go with that. I don't know. You guys can let me know. I don't know. I could be right on that. Because you look at The Lion King and Lion King 1.5 and with the wildebeest, just, that's just my theory and my thoughts, so, But anyway, so, and they make their way, and of course, they fall into the water, and so they hop on a wildebeest, and like, this is it, goodbye, cruel world, because they think it's a cliff, and as they fly in slow motion, they land in the water, and that's it. As Timon says, that wasn't so bad. You can't fool with Mother Nature. Yeah, bring it on. I think that's how he says it. You can't fool Mother Nature, whatever, but, and so, and as they make their way to, like, some water going down, like, Pumbaa, question, is it possible to fall off the edge of the earth, Technically, no, as Pumbaa says, the earth is round, and it is. And so they go down a waterfall, the camera pans out in, like, a huge waterfall, and right as it comes to where the camera, because, like, it pauses, and that's where Pumbaa, you mind if I pause it for a second? Sure, go ahead, be right back. That's probably the biggest one of the Timon and Pumbaa pause green screen thing, probably one of the biggest ones of the meme. And then if you guys been seeing, I've been doing those a lot, so, but anyways, so, yeah, and of course they make their way down after it's unpaused, and in the evening, like, how long were they in the water? They just been swimming or something like that, I guess, making their way to shore. And that's when, Timon, Pumbaa, because Pumbaa has no family and such, and Timon says that he's all alone. They share a lot in common, and friends stick together to the end, as Timon says. Once again, they pause the movie, Timon is crying, and then, they find the perfect dream home and such, and that's the one that Pumbaa was trying to tell Timon, and as we see in The Lion King, where Simba meets Timon and Pumbaa introduce Simba to where they live, so, and so, a montage of the places in that area, and, of course, we come to Hakuna Matata, and, like, Timon and Pumbaa do a sing-along, follow the bouncing ladybug, basically. It is a ladybug. And Pumbaa, at one point, they paused the movie, and Pumbaa was eating the grub. He couldn't help himself. And we cut to Timon's mother and Rafiki explaining about what Timon's been doing, etc. And for the first time, and I read this in its trivia page, on its IMDb page of its trivia, that the first time in anything of Lion King, Rafiki gets hit with his own stick, and that is from Timon's mother. So, you used a metaphor, blah, blah. And that's when we cut back to Timon, like, bowling for porcupines or something. And that's where it comes to where they first get to meet Simba, bowling for buzzards. So, that's where they get to meet Simba and save him. And then, later on, because, like, that montage of, like, Timon looking after Simba, kind of being the mother or something, it's funny. And then, of course, later, Simba, now a teenager, and then, like, they have a snailing contest, eating snails. Simba wins, Timon, he couldn't eat the last one, he was getting sick to his stomach. And then, of course, later, another song playing, I forget how it goes. Is this the boy I carried? But I really can't remember the name of that song, the title of it. But of course, Simba now fully grown and with the mane, etc. And that scene where they're in the somewhat jacuzzi. And, and when Pumbaa gets tired and such, I'm bushed. Think I'll turn in for the evening. It turns out that he was causing the jacuzzi. He was causing the water, that pool, to be like a jacuzzi, Oh, God. Even Timon and Simba's reaction is hilarious. And, like, I'm out right behind you. Hilarious. And, and, like, later, of course, like, that's where we come to where Simba and Nala get to meet after so long when they were kids. And, and what's funny, and yet we see it in this, Timon and Pumbaa trying to stop them from falling in love, and Timon like, Pumbaa, we can't make them feel the love tonight. It's funny. And that, of course, that's when it, right before that, that sequence ends, because we see them, but this time the camera's behind them, them finishing off Can You Feel the Love Tonight? And so, later on, because Timon and Pumbaa walking around, and then they see Simba and Nala arguing and such. Simba walks off, and Timon thinks that they broke them up, and like Pumbaa's like, and that's a good thing. As Simba walks off, we see the clouds, and it's Mufasa, that leading up to where Simba meets up with Rafiki and Mufasa, And so, the next day, Nala informs Timon and Pumbaa, like wondering where he was. That's where, Rafiki comes in and such, the king has returned, and, with Nala, it's just like the baboon said, blah, blah, blah. And yet, the return of Matthew Broderick, Maura Kelly, and, God, what's his face? I forget his name already. God, I hate it that I do. I really hate that I do. What's his face? The voice of Rafiki, they're back as well. It is great to see all of them return. So the voice cast of The Lion King returning as the characters as they are. They are the voice of their characters. So yeah. And so Nala, don't you get it? Simba needs us now, and runs off and like he needs us. Then he should have, whatever Timon says, and Timon refusing to go and like everything that he dreamed of, etc. Won't give it up. And then Pumbaa, he goes off, along with catching up with Nala, Timon just staying behind, and yet that part, now this is more like it, elbow room, and Timon just all alone and depressed, and then Rafiki comes in, and Timon just pretty much fills in for Rafiki, and at one point at the end, and my Hakuna Matata went with them, and, hits him a little bit on the head of the stick, thanks, I owe you one, and Rafiki, my work here is done, so, clearly, because Timon pretty much filled in for Rafiki, and did exactly what Rafiki would have said. So and at one point, because even with Rafiki, we cut with just up close to his face and with his eyes, like, But anyways, and another this time with Pumbaa running in the desert, and like Fusa ladies, Timon catches up with him, and like friends stick together to the end, etc. And, they pause the movie, and, what was with the running? Blah, blah. I was giving you time to catch up. Aw, you big lug. They hug, and he presses the remote. And, of course, come to the part with Timon and Pumbaa distracting the hyenas, and yet, even up to when we get a little bit of it, if you're hungry for a hot and fat and juicy meat, eat my buddy Pumbaa. They pause and like, let's just cut to the chase, shall we? Oh, sure. They just skip it, I guess they're embarrassed of it, so, pretty much. I think it is, it's even, we can clearly tell, because how they talk, so, and then, of course, as they run off, because we see what happens, and even Pumbaa scares them off, I guess, with his breath or something. Then Ma and Uncle Max come in. They get to meet Pumbaa, and of course, Ma and Uncle Max help Timon, take care of the hyenas. Timon and Pumbaa once again distracts them. Of course, pretty much, yeah. The hyenas are basically, I guess, they are the main villains of the film, I guess, and even with the appearance of Scar, So the hyenas, the Timon and Pumbaa are distracting them. At one point, I love it because Timon proposing to Shenzi, would you be the honor of becoming my bride? Pumbaa, I don't think so. Just, in Bonsai, I say we skip to the wedding and go straight to the buffet. And so, you know, because they dig the tunnels, Uncle Max and Ma put the twigs and such under it and causing it to break and, you know, them going down a hole or something. It doesn't work, you know, it kind of stops. But Timon, he goes in and finishes it, and they go down, blah, blah, and we see Scar being defeated by Simba, blah, blah. We know what happens next to Scar as we see in The Lion King. Timon, he's okay and such. And then, of course, we come to, you know, as we see in Lion King, you know, Simba now being king of Pride Rock, etc. And, yeah. And that's when Timon and Ma and Uncle Max and Pumbaa, they return, you know, the new home for the meerkats. And, yeah, new edition of Digatana, etc. Simba there as well. And then, of course, at the end, you know, Timon and Pumbaa, well, that's it, the grand finale. It's over already? And, well, Pumbaa, that's the thing. And then, of course, Ma comes in. You didn't tell me you were watching the movie. I want to watch, too. Ma, we just finished it. Show's over. Well, you're just going to have to rewind it. And literally she does. All, you know, Uncle Max, Simba, Rafiki come in, yet Rafiki says, any story worth telling is worth telling twice. And yeah, that's true. And then out of nowhere, almost every Disney character comes in, which is funny. So, yep, and of course, Timon and Pumbaa give the last words. Okay, buddy, you win. Sure you don't mind? Hakuna Matata. And Pumbaa, Timon, I still don't get used to crowds. Yeah, and as we see earlier in the film, Pumbaa not used to crowds and just the feeling in your stomach or something, you know. That was a funny scene. Him farting and the animals passing out, that was funny. And the little tiny bit of flame and such on one speck of hair from Timon, that was funny. But anyways, and the song's playing, and I think a remix of, yeah, Digatana, etc. Raven-Symoné singing I Can Dig It, She Can Dig It, okay, it was good. And, of course, the full version of Timon's song, Scurry, Sniff, Flitch, it is pretty good, so, you know. But anyway, so Lion King 1.5, it is good. I love it. And, that, of course, The Lion King, and with the Disney Toon movies, I think that and the Tigger movie, and with the rest of the Winnie the Pooh movies and Lilo and Stitch, and I guess The Little Mermaid as well, they're good, etc. I think they're the best ones. Lion King 1.5, what the heck? I'm giving it 10 out of 10 stars. I'm giving it 10 out of 10 stars. It's funny, it has a good story, and with Timon, focusing on Timon and Pumbaa, the animation is good. It's funny moments. It has a bit of emotion in the film. There is a bit of it in there, etc. Everything about it is really good. And you guys let me know what you think of The Lion King 1.5. Because again, I love it, I enjoy it, as I said, Anyway, so again, 10 out of 10 stars for The Lion King 1.5. I hope you enjoyed my review of the film. More new reaction videos more new review videos coming your way. They're going to be awesome. Keep looking forward, and I'll see you guys in the next video/review video. There we go. Take care, and peace out, and Hakuna Matata.